I am Adeola Omokibi, and the program you're watching is Sports Real. Keep a date with us.
Fans, they don't understand the rules or the laws of the game.
Hello and welcome to that program of yours on the NTA Sports Channel, Knowing Golf.
Finally come to the point in which both parties confident that progress can be made.
After 10 years of inaction, Aluminium Smelter Company of Nigeria, Ikorabasi, comes on stream as federal government appoints a Russian firm as core investor.
The foreign exchange market is being stabilized, and our ranking in terms of ease of doing business has improved.
President Buhari seeks collaboration with the Economic Summit Group for sustainable economic growth.
This policy emphasis both recognizes the lapses and inadequacies of our internal security infrastructure.
Federal government launches security governance initiative, partners United States in transformation of the security sector, and football star George Weah sworn in as Liberia's 24th president. Good evening, this is NTA Network News. I am Adebayo Jimo. Back on the beat for the celebration of NTA's 40 years of broadcasting for nation building. I'll be on set for the rest of the week, but Isaac Nkuma will take tonight's news while the veteran takes over tomorrow. Isaac, over to you.
Thank you, Bayo. Nice to have the veteran back on set. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Today, Ademola Adeoye is reading with me from Lagos, while Fatai Adeoloja is standing by in Ibadan. The federal government is seeking continued collaboration with and cooperation with the Nigerian Economic Summit Group in delivering what it calls fundamental changes to the structure of the nation's economy. These are in the area of agriculture, transportation, power, oil and gas, as well as manufacturing and processing. President Muhammadu Buhari stated this while receiving in audience the chairman and board of directors of the group, promised that the rising attacks on the communities by headsmen will soon be brought under control. The State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports.
Members of the Board of Management of the Nigerian Economic Summit Group were in the State House to not only commend the president for the giant strides recorded in repositioning the nation's economy, but also give suggestions on ways of consolidating the achievements for a sustainable future. The chairman of the board, Bukar Kyari, who presented the report of the 23rd Nigerian Economic Summit and the 2018 Macroeconomic Outlook Report, said as the nation approaches an election year, a war chest of foreign exchange reserve must be built in order to make any exit of investors undisruptive.
As we reflect on the current state of the Nigerian economy, NESG would like to emphasize the need to build on the achievements of last year. Despite the expected political distraction in a pre-election year, we must keep our eye on the ball. While the economy is improving, hard work and a strong political will to push through further reforms is needed to preserve the progress made so far.
President Muhammadu Buhari described the Nigerian Economic Summit Group as a critical partner in national development aspirations over the years. While promising due attention to the recommendations of the group, the president said his administration will sustain efforts at improving the lives of Nigerians.
As you are aware, inflation rates are trending downwards. Our foreign reserves have been growing. The foreign exchange market is being stabilized, and our ranking in terms of ease of doing business has improved. However, we have more work to do to sustain and accelerate the momentum and to ensure that economic development is inclusive.
President Buhari expressed worry over the recurrent farmers-herders conflicts, which he attributed to the situation in the Sahel region. However, said the federal government will remain focused in not only addressing the challenge, but also the implementation of its reform initiatives.
I assure you, this administration is doing its best to secure our country, to manage it, and then the economy for employment and fighting corruption. We are lucky, things are turning around, but we have to do much more to make sure that the infrastructure is in place for us to do even better. And here I have to put on record the gratitude of this country to the Chinese.
Describing as a wonder how Nigeria survived the 2016 economic recession, the president is, however, optimistic that the future of Nigeria is now bright and more promising. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo left Abuja earlier today to attend the 48th World Economic Forum annual meeting, taking place from the 23rd to 26th of January 2018 in Davos, Switzerland. While in Davos, Vice President Osinbajo will hold a number of bilateral meetings with representatives of other countries, international business interests, and development partners. There will also be a special forum specifically for Nigeria, which involves engagement and interaction with development finance institutions and global institutional investors in support of the economic recovery and growth plan of the Buhari administration. From Davos, the Vice President will depart for the United Kingdom by the weekend, where he will deliver the keynote address at the Warwick African Summit, which will focus on exploring the potential of the continent's overall development. And back home in Nigeria, the Aluminium Smelter Company of Nigeria in Ikorabasi, Akwa Ibom State, that have been moribund for over 10 years due to litigation, is to commence operation as the federal government finally signs agreement with a Russian firm as core investor. Mayor Gidi reports that the pact was signed in Abuja.
The Aluminium Smelter Company of Nigeria, established in 1989 with a capacity of 1,970 metric tons of aluminium, was to utilize the country's gas reserve and discourage gas flaring in the country. However, as part of federal government's privatization policy, the company was listed for privatization in 2002, and 5 companies bidded for it. But the purchase process later involved litigations, as some companies felt unfairly treated. This process stalled the workings of the company until President Muhammadu Buhari mandated the Ministry of Mines and Steel Development to opt for out-of-court settlement, and now all legal issues have been laid to rest, and the Russian company is to start operations with the federal government 20% equity share.
It's finally come to the point in which both parties, confident that progress can be made following the extensive negotiations that have taken place between the government of Nigeria and the Judicial group.
With this process, the dreams of the multi-billion-dollar project will be fulfilled. Mayor Ogidi, NTA News.
Meanwhile, miners in the solid mineral sector that failed to remit their royalties and taxes from 2012 to 2017 may have cause to be worried, as the federal government has engaged auditors to check the financial records and bring tax evaders to book. Here again is Mayor Ogidi with the details.
In 2015 and 16, revenue from the mining industry was just at 2 billion naira, while in 2017, 3 billion naira. This is a far cry from the expected 32 billion naira at least annually. This rather unfortunate situation prompted the National Economic Council directing the Ministry of Mines and Steel to engage consultants on revenue generation.
Indeed, leakages in government revenue remains a big challenge in the sector.
These 100 consultants are therefore expected to collect and analyze data from mining officers in line with Section 43 of the Minerals and Mining Act of 2007.
We expect a corresponding increase in other statutory taxes payable to the government by mining companies. Compliant operators need not panic, but those found wanting are encouraged to cooperate fully with our officials and consultants.
We're trying to make sure that we bring the informal, artisanal mining operators, we're trying to bring them, register them, make sure that they have the right licenses to operate in the mining sector.
To ensure effective exercise, the consultants are to interface with the ministry officials to arm themselves before going to the field.
And now to security matters. The federal government says it has prioritized the transformation of its security sector, improving transparency and accountability across the public sector as key objectives. This was made evident with the launch of the Security Governance Initiative and Joint Country Action Plan between Nigeria and the United States of America in Abuja. Olajide Bello reports.
Nigeria and the United States of America in August 2016 signed a Memorandum of Understanding outlining a roadmap for successful bilateral engagement under the Security Governance Initiative (SGI) and setting out a Joint Country Action Plan (JCAP). Inauguration of the Security Governance Initiative is a build-up on the design to improve capacity ranging from policing in the Northeast to emergency response protocol and defense acquisition.
This policy emphasis both recognizes the lapses and inadequacies of our internal security infrastructure and centralizes security as a cardinal deliverable of good governance and democracy.
Tier 2. Looking for opportunities over the course of our time working together on this, Minister, and ladies and gentlemen, where we can share with you some of the things that have worked for us and others, and where we can learn from you some of the things that will work best for all of us.
The Joint Country Action Plan outlines 3 thematic focus areas that are centered on strengthening the effectiveness of the security institutions and criminal justice system, the challenges to security governance, desired end state, intermediate objectives and recommendations. In Abuja, Olajide Bello, NTA News.
In the meantime, the federal government says it is poised to addressing all the security challenges facing the country. Minister of Interior Abdurrahman Bello Dambazo stated this when he received the newly appointed Director General, National Intelligence Agency, Ahmad Rufai Abubakar. Murjanatu Adam Saeed reports.
The conflict between farmers and herdsmen is a land resource conflict of global concern. In Nigeria, it is a major national crisis that the federal government says it is working to address. This and other security situation in the country necessitated the newly appointed Director General of NIA, Ahmad Rufai Abubakar, to identify with the Ministry of Interior, as the agency and the ministry have a lot in common in tackling the security situation in the country.
Found him to be highly professional, very knowledgeable, and then of course is accumulating more experience, more knowledge about the challenges that we face.
We are organizing a regional conference next month in partnership with the ECOWAS Commission on that, to look at the issue of movement of transhumans within the sub-region. And of course, we also realize that we need to address the drivers. What are those drivers? Arms and drugs.
One of the missions of the Ministry of Interior is to protect and assist victims of armed conflict and other situations of violence, as well as promote respect for international humanitarian law. In Abuja, Murjanatu Adam Saeed, NTA News.
President Buhari hosts Southeast APC leaders, says national unity and clear conscience drive his policy direction. Details shortly after this break.
Standards Organization of Nigeria, SON, brings a new lease of life to Nigeria SMEs. SON has put a greater premium on developing standards to improve made in Nigeria products for export. We have developed more standards for products like sesame, cocoa, gari, and more, courtesy of our accredited state-of-the-art laboratories. In keeping with the federal government's ease of doing business, SON has simplified its processes and turned around time for SUNCAP, MANCAP, and other certification processes. SON has intensified market surveillance, raids, and seizures to reduce substandard products in circulation, and offenders shall be prosecuted. Join SON in ridding our nation of substandard products. If you see something, say something. Standards Organization of Nigeria, improving lives through standards.
Upward we come, oh, upward we come, funded by our faith, Babalola.
Afe Babalola University, Ado-Ekiti, Abuad, the fastest growing university in Africa and the pride of Nigeria's education system, will perform the turning of the sword of a modern industrial research park for 121 industries on Thursday, 25th January 2018. Guests are expected in the Alpha Belgore Multipurpose Hall of the university at 10 a.m. Chairman of the Epoch event is the Oni of Ife, Oba Adeyeye Enitan Ogunwusi, who will be assisted by other obas, ministers, governors, NUC executives, and other top stakeholders in education.
A believer in industry and determination.
Join Abuad as it expands the frontiers of quality and functional education for Africa. Abuad, a vision in motion.
Who wants to answer? Mary?
Mary has a toothache.
Oh, I see. And who knows why?
Because her tooth is too big.
No, it might be a hole in her tooth called a cavity. That's why I brush twice a day using Colgate.
Imagine this is your tooth and these are food acids that cause cavities. Colgate with calcium and fluoride helps prevent cavities
For maximum cavity protection.
and now available in a fresh new Icy Mint gel.
Wake up on a Mocha mattress and wake up to feeling good.
We want to buy Indomie noodles. 4 packs, please.
Yo.
This is not my Indomie. Please, sir, it's not Indomie. Don't call it Indomie.
Sir, the taste is the difference. The difference is in the taste. That's why my brothers, my mommy, my daddy, and I all enjoy our delicious, so very delicious Indomie noodles.
Season's greatest from Indomie. Indomie. Tasty nutrition, good for you.
Take a good look at our world today and you'll discover something interesting. More and more drivers are choosing mobile motor oils. You see, as engine performance becomes more important than ever, the vehicle owners are coming to expect more from their engine oils. They're demanding more mileage on a single oil change. They're demanding longer-lasting engines and smoother rides. They're demanding the best. And with Mobile, that's what they get. We raised the bar for motor oils with the Mobile Super 1000. And with the Mobile One, we raised it even higher. And because it's made using the most advanced engineering processes, Mobile motor oils leave your engine super clean, increase its durability, and keep it so well protected, it never stops running. So success for you depends on continuous movement. You need engine oil, engineered for that purpose. Mobile, performance at its best.
Make it mobile.
Do you know that the Nigerian police now operates in the best international practices of policing? Do you know that the Nigerian police has been restructured to be more accountable and responsive to all your security challenges? Now, what the police demand from you is your trust, your collaborative efforts by providing necessary information about criminals and their activities in your neighborhood. Be vigilant. To achieve our creed as we promise, we shall police the country based on international core values of policing with integrity. We shall ensure that rule of law prevails in our actions and activities. We shall respect diversity, display courage, show compassion, and demonstrate professionalism. We shall operate within the principle of democratic policing. We shall shun corruption, and we shall make Nigeria safer and secured under the leadership of IGP Ibrahim Otum Idris.
Let the wind of change blowing across the country chase away crime for the benefit benefit of our society. Yes, the Nigerian police says this change must come with peace and tranquility.
This message was brought to you by the Public Relations Department of the Nigerian Police Force.
Today, Ariel will show you how to save more in these tough times.
Why this powder? It's pretty good and money is tight.
But Ariel gives better cleaning with less powder.
Impossible.
Come with me. Spaghetti sauce, chocolate drink.
For these tough stains, I'll need 1, 2.
And just 1 handful of Ariel. New Ariel gives better stain removal with less powder.
That's real savings.
Ariel removes tough stains better in 1 wash.
Thanks, Mom, for the pig full cream milk. It's so tasty.
But Dad, you stopped taking milk, remember?
Yes, my darling. But then my loving wife got me the new pig-filled milk, which is low in cholesterol to help me stay healthy.
Dad, you mean my loving mom that gives me pig full cream milk for a stronger body and sharper mind?
Here's to the best wife in the world.
Here's to the best mom in the world.
Aww. Mom, see how my dad and brother are fighting over you.
Well, guys, now everyone has a peak. Pig full cream milk and the new pig-filled low in cholesterol milk. Enjoy the creamy taste of pig milk, enriched with 28 vitamins and minerals.
Thanks, my dear, for always taking care of the family.
Welcome back. President Muhammadu Buhari has pledged to not only remain selfless and passionate in service to the nation and humanity, but also maintain a clear conscience in all decisions for national unity and development. This was while receiving leaders of the governing All Progressives Congress in the Southeast on a solidarity visit. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports.
The Southeast APC leaders, led by the National Vice Chairman of the party in the zone, Ima Enweku, are here to purposely express formal appreciation to the President for the critical infrastructural projects receiving government attention, including the second Niger Bridge, Enugu-Port Harcourt, as well as Enugu-Onitsha-Owerri roads. President Muhammadu Buhari commended his guests for acknowledging the laudable and consistent efforts of his administration towards restoring Nigeria to the position of eminence. He also thanked them for their sacrifices, patriotism, and support for the peace and stability of the country. As he puts it during the closed-door interaction, I want you to know that I have not forgotten the efforts and sacrifices you have made in the successes I have achieved so far, and I appreciate what you are doing for the stability of our country as well as the future of our children and grandchildren. President Buhari restated his resolve to do his very best for all Nigerians and with a clear conscience. Leader of the delegation, Ima Enweku, reaffirmed the unanimous decision of the party in the Southeast endorsing President Buhari for a second term in office. This was corroborated by others spoken to who expressed the conviction that 4 years is not enough for the president to complete what they called this worthy journey to make Nigeria truly great, hence the need for another term of office.
We've moved for him to run for the second term in office, and we'll do sincerely mean it. Our support now will translate into votes that has not been known in the history of Southeast. We are united in this support.
He's our father, and he's the father of Nigeria. By the special grace of God, the victory is already ours. God is with us, and no one can stop it.
So for us Southeasterners, no matter what you think, this is the shortest way to our own presidency.
This time around is walk, 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 and we will not relent. We'll give Nigeria what they want. We'll vote our president into power.
If the mega rally that we had in Abia State 2 weeks ago is anything to go by, our target and our conviction is that come 2019, the entire Southeast would be for Mr. President and for APC.
We also thanked him that the people of the Southeast are very enterprising people. So when you are building a railway network, it's important that all major commercial towns are linked up by rail, and also gas distribution. And the president gave direct instructions that this should be done, and we are very happy.
The people implored the president, whom they described as a just and fair-minded leader, to make history by supporting the zoning of the office of the president to the southeast at the end of his second tenure. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
And to judicial matters now. Chief Judge of the FCT High Court, Justice Ishaq Bello, has held a meeting with legal practitioners participated in corruption cases in the FCT, with the meeting agreeing to work towards fast-tracking trials before the court. Judiciary correspondent Femi Okeowo reports.
In spite of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act, everyone agrees that criminal trials, particularly corruption cases, are not moving fast enough in the country's courts. Concerned by the general notion that such delays are caused by the judiciary and senior lawyers, Chief Judge of the FCT High Court, Justice Ishaq Bello, called a meeting of some of his judges and defense attorneys for criminal matters and corruption cases.
There are accusations at the public domain that senior lawyers are responsible for the delay of these cases. I have addressed it before them. I have listened to their actions. Where they own up, they own up. And where they feel it is the fault of the prosecution, and I think they have been fair.
The meeting created a platform for the top lawyers to speak their minds as to the reasons for the slow pace of corruption trials. The meeting also called for the proper training and equipping of prosecution counsel who represent government in prosecuting its corruption cases.
The moment the judiciary reassets itself and let whoever is there know that this is an institution that is protected by the Constitution.
You have had it said several times that justice delayed is justice denied. The essence of this meeting, therefore, is to ensure that all stakeholders ensure that justice is served to all concerned, but most importantly, timeously. From the FCT High Court, Femi Okeowo, NTA News.
And to health now, the Senate Committee on Primary Healthcare and Communicable Diseases has held a public hearing on the Nigerian Center for Disease Control Establishment Bill 2018, NCDC. National Assembly correspondent Dennis Adegunloye reports that the bill was widely supported in view of recent communicable diseases outbreak across the country.
The Ebola outbreak in 2014 that led to the deaths of 7 people, and more recently cases of Lassa fever, monkeypox and meningitis, informed this public hearing in view of the fact that detection and response to outbreaks of infectious diseases has been a long-standing public health challenge.
It is therefore important that this agency get legislative backing to give it a firm policy directive. Apart from the challenge of the Northeast, there can be no other challenge to a corporate existence and public health other than this public health outbreak that we're witnessing.
I support the national legislation. Indeed, the time is being overdue.
The health system in Nigeria is like a puzzle. It's like a jigsaw, and this should be the final piece of the jigsaw.
It's today that I heard that bill has not been passed for NCDC. So I was like, what are they waiting for? So
I want to assure you and reassure you of the willingness and desire of this 8th Senate that we are going to expeditiously pass this bill into law.
Every Nigerian would recognize the need to have an organization and agency like the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, because most people have been affected one way or the other by one infectious disease or the other.
The committee will report back to plenary. From the National Assembly, Dennis Adegunloye, NTA News.
And still from the National Assembly, the House of Representatives is considering a bill that seeks, among other issues, to empower the Council for the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria, COREN, to arrest and prosecute quacks in the profession. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Nkwo reports that the bill was opened for contributions from members of the public.
Chairman of the committee, Tobi Okechukwu,
who is also the sponsor of the bill, and Deputy Speaker Yusuf Lasun, who represented Speaker Yakubu Dogara, spoke on the bill.
With my colleagues in the committee, I came to the realization that a large proportion of our financial and economic resources are drained because of the weak framework for regulating the engineering profession.
Today, engineering failures have not only brought financial and economic costs to our country, they have also imposed heavy social cost on us.
During the public hearing session, engineers, regulatory bodies and other related agencies supported the proposed legislation, describing it as a potent measure to check increasing cases of buildings collapse in Nigeria.
Current has not been able to regulate effectively due to limitations in the enforcement of rules, ethics and codes of practice, lack of stringent penalties for offenses and fiscal resources.
Meanwhile, the Nigerian Navy has defended its 2018 budget before the House of Representatives Committee on Navy, where it stated that 27.4 billion naira appropriated for capital expenditure will be spent on priority projects, which include fleet renewal, 20 billion naira, fleet support infrastructure, 3 billion, and operations logistics, 2.2 billion naira.
The budgetary provision would facilitate the milestone payment for acquisitions of landing ship tank to enhance NN capacity.
Calling on the federal government to fast-track dredging of Lake Chad to enable effective deployment of the Nigerian Navy boats.
The Nigerian Navy says out of the 29 capital projects in 2017 budget, only 15 were realized due to poor cash backing. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
And moving on to other matters, the Federal Road Safety Corps, FRSC, says it's recorded a reduction of 2.58% in road traffic crashes in 2017. Corps Marshal Boboye Oyeyemi, who disclosed this in Abuja, assured Nigerians of the Corps' commitment to creating safer road environment and ensuring welfare of road users through improved service delivery. Timothy Yusuf reports.
The rate of road traffic crashes recorded nationwide in 2017 was 7,937 as against 8,560 in 2016, indicating a decrease of 7.28%. The number of people killed in 2017 was 4,410 as against 4,522 in 2016. This represents a reduction of 2.58%. 26,392 persons were injured in 2017 as against 26,749 in 2016, giving a reduction of 1.34%. Boboye Oyeyemi attributed these gains recorded during the year under review to a combination of well-interacted variables and cooperation with the military, particularly the Nigerian Air Force, which made helicopters available for aerial surveillance during the Ember Month Special Patrol. For the Special Ember Months Patrol between December 17 and January 15, the Corps Marshal disclosed that impressive results were also recorded through several indices as 161 fatal crashes, making 18% reduction were recorded as against 191 in 2016.
This is an achievement that you are able to stem the crashes, and we are working gradually towards the UN Decade of Action for Road Safety. The essence is to reduce fatalities by 50% using a baseline of 2011. It's a decade, and we have 2 more years to go. So the most important thing is that you can record crashes, but lives must be saved.
On the offenders' behavior during the festive period, the Corps observed improved conduct among road travelers. Overloading and use of bad tires remain a huge challenge. However, Oyeyemi explains that fines for offenders may witness a hike this year, while more mobile courts may also be introduced. In Abuja, Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
And it's time now to join Ademola in Lagos for more reports on Network News Tonight.
Thank you, Isaac, and thanks for joining us in Lagos. For enhanced professionalism and optimal performance, the Nigerian Air Force has commissioned the reactivated machine workshop in the 631 Aircraft Maintenance Depot in Lagos. Ken Egbeluhe reports that the Chief of Defense Staff, General Abayomi Olonishaki, also commissioned the second Bell 412 helicopter, Nigeria Air Force 599, assembled in the country.
The reactivated machine and structural workshop are two ingredients that are critical for the development of a robust industrial base of an efficient air force. This is because they handle the repairs of aircraft and training in engineering for personnel. The Chief of Defense Staff explained that the decision to fix this moribund machine workshop is for the Air Force to consolidate on self-sufficiency and improve professional performance.
The current state of affairs in the nation calls for prudent management of resources and prioritization of commitments.
The Chief of Air Staff told newsmen that the second of the Bell 412 helicopter Nigerian Air Force 599, which was assembled in the country, is ready to be launched into operation at the Northeast.
We have our helicopter technicians that were trained in the US, and they came back, and when the parts came, they were part of the process of putting it together. So we are working seriously to see how we can build capacity locally.
The reactivated machine and structural workshop by the Nigerian Air Force is in collaboration with the University of Maiduguri in Lagos. Ken Igbeluge, NTA News.
For Nigeria's economy to remain more viable and improve tax revenue generation, there is the need to develop the non-oil sectors of the economy. Chairman, Federal Inland Revenue Service, Tunde Foiler, stated this at the FIRS 2018 Management Stakeholders Retreat in Lagos. Abolade Salami reports.
Federal Inland Revenue Service Management and Stakeholders Retreat created a platform to review the performance of the service in the year 2017 with a view to set goals for the year 2018. Chairman of FIRS, Tunde Foiler, said the service will embark on strategies to enhance collaboration with its critical stakeholders so as to improve on its performance. He noted that with a decline in the global oil price, FIRS generated 1.52 trillion naira as revenue from oil, while the sum of 4 trillion naira was the actual revenue collection in the same year.
Well, basically just improve the efficiency. We also deploy technology, and at the same time we have started an audit process, and for those who refused to pay but had capacity to pay, we also had enforcement.
In order to engender an effective and robust tax administration towards the realization of fundamental objectives, members of the National Assembly assured the service of enacting laws.
So I think that this retreat provides a platform for that common understanding, right, of what work the service does, what issues and problems that there are, that the National Assembly can actually assist them achieve.
So primarily is to be on the same page for the Parliament to understand how they operate, what they require, to listen to some of the challenges, to review the previous activities, and also determine the way forward.
Earlier, the management of FIRS and stakeholders were at the Palace of the Oba of Lagos, Obarilo Anakiolu, to seek his support in the promotion of taxation in the country. In Lagos, Abolade Salami, NTA News.
You're still watching NTA Network News. We now take a break for some messages, after which the news returns. Stay with us.
This is your playground. Get free 200,000 naira preloaded on the new Jumbo SIM to talk, chat and browse as you like. This includes free data for Facebook, WhatsApp and Twitter on every recharge. Now every SIM is a Jumbo SIM. Existing customers dial *224# to join. The largest data network. Glow, grandmasters of data.
During an emergency, people tend to run away from the scene of danger. My job requires that I do the exact opposite, to save people. There was once a sweet girl who was in a car accident. It was sad to see pain on the face which should always be smiling. The ordeal had taken a toll on me, but I had no time for pain. A couple of weeks later, I was about to head home when I had an unexpected visitor. It was her birthday, and she had insisted to her mother that she would bring a piece of cake for the man who helped save her life. The world needs people who save lives.
Sensitivity is a short pain which occurs when teeth are exposed to hot, cold, or acidic
things. Cold water from the fridge would trigger off sensitivity. A lot of people would accept anyway and just grin and bear the pain. What I would say to the patient is switch to Sensodyne, make it your daily toothpaste. Over a period of time would reduce tooth sensitivity. And a lot of them come back to thank me, to say that, wow, it's just something so simple. It adds the sparkle back into their life.
Sedap Supreme Noodles, capturing the tasty goodness. It's the Sedap Supreme chicken essence that gives it the truly delicious chicken taste. With real chicken essence. Be Supreme, Nigeria.
During an emergency, people tend to run away from the scene of danger. My job requires that I do the exact opposite, to save people. There was once a sweet girl who was in a car accident. It was sad to see pain on a face which should always be smiling. The ordeal had taken a toll on me, but I had no time for pain. A couple of weeks later, I was about to head home when I had an unexpected visitor. It was her birthday, and she had insisted to her mother that she would bring a piece of cake for the man who helped save her life. The world needs people who save lives.
Everybody dance now. What? Louder. Everybody dance. This life where we live, the sunshine or rain. Face your mountain, make it never fail. Can't you go to fight this and brighten up your day? Drink Malta and brighten up your day. If you want something, make you get on today. We don't know tomorrow, we only know today. Reason why I turn up every day. Let's go. Everybody dance now. We are the strongest. No challenge can stop us, oh Lord. And we are the brightest. No darkness can blind us. We are the strongest. No challenge can stop us, oh Lord. And we are the brightest. Sharp, oh. We never slow down and we never look down. No, they look back, oh.
Let Malta goodness fuel your greatness. Let's go.
Thanks for rejoining us in Abuja. And it's been advocated that new ideas are needed to change the ideology of extremists to make them reason in the line of peace. Swiss ambassador to Nigeria, Eric Mayoras, said this during a Kutsa visit on the management of the NTA. Adebola Brooklyn Sunday reports.
Discouraging illegal migration and trade are some of the areas Nigeria and Switzerland are partnering. This visit by the Swiss ambassador Eric Mayora is ahead of a workshop on constructive alternative to extremist narrative aimed at promoting peace and peaceful coexistence in Nigeria, which it is supporting.
And also to invite you to send somebody of NTA to this workshop by broadcasting and diffusing largely, and as you are the biggest network here in Nigeria, these messages against violent extremism.
Package those those information in a way that will be accessible to members of the society and also easily understandable.
We are at one with all progressive forces.
Director General of the NTA, Yakubu Ibn Muhammad, says Nigeria and Switzerland are partners in progress to consolidate and move the nation forward.
So I think every kind of extremism is dangerous.
The DG assures the ambassador of making available news and programs belts to promote their mission, as the jingles will be translated into local languages. The resolutions reached at the workshop will be made known to the public in due course. Adebola Brooklyn Sunday, NTA News.
And a new national newspaper, Voice of Liberty, has been unveiled to the public to serve as a medium for accurate and truthful citizens and government conversations. The publisher and owner of a media conglomerate, Alhaji Ahmed Tijani Ramalan, says the newspaper, which presents a new dimension to freedom of information, was born out of patriotic desire to enrich the Nigeria democratic project and journalism practice. Abdullahi Ajia reports.
It was a date with history at the unveiling of the Voice of Liberty newspaper and the Muriang Enchi, an online Hausa news platform. The publisher, Alhaji Ahmed Tijani Ramalan, maintained that the newspaper is built on the solid rock of tested brand of responsible journalism that represents every segment and voice in the society with sanctity of public opinion and balanced views.
We desire to offer the compelling benefit for citizens to increase their vigilance on issues of governance and the overall well-being of Nigerians.
The media mogul said, under a careful arrangement, a large pool of resource is put in place to cover the nooks and crannies of the country and beyond. Senior media professionals, including Executive Director News, NTA, Mohammed Labbo, in their goodwill message, encouraged the publisher to be guided by professionalism, conscience, and national unity.
He's always been a bold person, searching for the truth, with some kind of restraint. Because sometimes we've seen that lack of restraint in many papers and reports that have almost brought down our country.
Let us watch and see what the editorials will be like. I'm sure it will be fair, but it will also be punchy and fearless.
I wish this publication well. I pray that it's not going to be like some of the newspapers in this country that are grossly, unprofessional, no conscience, no patriotism.
The Voice of Liberty newspaper is a weekly national paper with the motto, Voice for All. In Abuja, Abdullahi Ajia, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has joined members of the All Progressive Congress in congratulating elder statesman and former governor of Ogun State, Chief Abdulkarim Bisi Akonde, on his 79th birthday. In a statement by the special advisor to the president on media and publicity, Femi Adesina, President Buhari believes that the APC chieftain delving into politics at an early age was divinely orchestrated so that the entire nation can share his rare wisdom, insights, and purposeful foresight. President Buhari affirms that Chief Akonde's contribution were major steps and sacrifices in ensuring a sustainable democracy for Nigeria that generations will recall and remain grateful. The president prays that the Almighty God will continue to sustain Chief Akonde in good health, strength, and wisdom to serve the country. Now, talking business now, Central Bank of Nigeria has injected additional $210 million into the interbank foreign exchange market to meet the request of customers in different segments of the market. For more on business news, here is Vivian Idekbefo.
It's good to have you join us on Business News. The governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, has allayed the fears of Nigerians and the international community over the inability of the bank to hold the Monetary Policy Committee meeting earlier scheduled for Monday and Tuesday due to the non-confirmation of the MPC nominees by the Senate. Emefiele explained that the MPC meeting would not be holding in January as a result of the bank's inability to form a quorum as stipulated in the CBN Act of 2007. The CBN governor noted that key economic indicators continue to move in the right direction. He said the CBN would continue to maintain the key monetary variables as decided in the last MPC meeting of November 2017. It will hold monetary policy rate at 14%, cash reserve ratio at 22.5%, liquidity ratio at 30%, and the asymmetric corridor at plus 200 and minus 500 basis points around the MPR. Meanwhile, the federal government has established an interministerial committee on harmonization of data collection and evaluation for the country. The committee, headed by the Statistician General of the Federation, Dr. Yemi Kale, will be the focal authority for ministries, departments, and agencies, while serving as the clearinghouse for data collection, authentication, and publication for government. And the stock market opens the week negative, records a 0.40% depreciation to close at 44,912.53 basis points. Caverton led the gainers chart with a 9.91% increase ahead of Wema Bank and Skybank. Transcorp led the losers chart, shedding 9.20%. And that concludes business news. We now return to the rest of the bulletin.
Thank you, Vivian. President Muhammadu Buhari has expressed sympathy with traders at Yankifi Market, Kano, following a fire outbreak. A statement by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, says the President noted that the reported loss of a large number of shops and containers is economically destabilizing to the victims. He, however, prayed to Almighty God to turn their losses into greater blessings. And let's now join Fatai in Ibadan as we take a peep into preparations ahead of 2019 elections. Hello, Fatai. It's over to you.
Hello, Isaac, and thanks for joining us in Ibadan. Members of the ruling All Progressives Congress APC have been urged to work together in unity towards ensuring the party's victory in the 2019 general election. The appeal was made at the inauguration of the Southwest Zonal Secretariat of Muhammadu Buhari Osinbajo Dynamic Support Group in Ibadan. Rafia Animashan Badmos reports.
The Southwest Zonal Office of Muhammadu Buhari Osinbajo Dynamic Support Group attracted government functionaries, party chiefs, friends, and families of All Progressive Congress. The host, Barrister Adebayo Shitu, said the Southwest Office of MBO Dynamic Support Group is geared towards bringing into fore re-election plans for the present administration.
This event is to prepare the ground for the re-election campaign of our leader, President Muhammadu Buhari. Undoubtedly, by his track record, he deserves to be re-elected.
The event featured the presentation of achievements of President Buhari and Osinbajo in the last 2.5 years.
We work together to promote the unity of this country in order to continue the good works that Mr. President started and also to ensure that Nigerians reap the dividends of democracy.
Mr. President is not loud. He's not somebody shouting, making noise, but he's delivering. The infrastructural development going on in Nigeria will last for a very long time. If he can complete all that, he needs time to do that completion.
They however urged heads of political parties in various establishments to work together for peace and unity of the country. In Ibadan, Rafia Animashan Badmos, NTA News.
And that's the much we can take from the cradle. It's back to you, Isaac, for more stories on the network news.
Many thanks for Tai. We'll take another break now. The news returns shortly. Do stay with us.
Climate change and adverse effect on security is our focus on Tuesday Live this week as experts look at the way out. NTA Tuesday Live. Informative, educative, and incisive. Don't miss it.
Nivea combines its unique care with natural cocoa butter and vitamin E. For intensive nourishment that lasts. Glowing, radiant skin. Cocoa butter body lotion from Nivea. Now say goodbye to dry skin with great Nivea specials this Harmattan.
Makes a Naija mom powerful.
I encourage my kids to learn new things, and if they get hurt, I rely on the power of my Dettol's 1 capful to fight germs.
My family needs protection from germs. I use the power of Dettol's 1 capful to disinfect surfaces and clothes.
I trust the power of Dettol's 1 capful for bathing. The power of Dettol's 1 capful protects from up to 100 illness-causing germs.
Be a powerful Naija mom with Dettol. Be 100
100% sure.
I'm glad you stayed. On the foreign scene, former international football star George Weah has been sworn in as president of Liberia. Details with Obiageli Ugwoke.
Tens of thousands of Liberians have witnessed the swearing in of George Weah as the new president of Liberia at a packed stadium on the outskirts of Monrovia. The former international football legend George Weah replaces Africa's first elected female head of state, Ellen Sirleaf Johnson. It is Liberia's first transition between democratically elected leaders since 1944. Also present are heads of states and several football celebrities. Weah has promised to eradicate corruption in the country of 4 million people, as well as boosting the weak economy. He entered politics after retiring from football in 2002 and ran for presidency in 2005, losing to Sirleaf. Obiageli Ugwoke, NTA News.
And sports update is next with Dende Sani.
2 Group C matches will be decided simultaneously Tuesday at the ongoing Championship of Africa.